Thank you for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. Can the GOP and former President Trump separate themselves from the unpopular reality of a post-Roe v. Wade America? I'm Nikki Medoro along with Kim McAllister. Now, we are talking specifically about what Arizona has done and the big, huge mistake that they are making leading up to this next presidential election. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss a moment of the show. Yeah, you'll see the headline right on your screen there. A near total ban on abortion has supercharged the political dynamics of Arizona, which of course is a swing state. So this has been making, huge shockwaves because I think that people are, I will give it to them, it's a bit delayed, finally coming to terms with the reality of what the GOP is trying to do for reproductive rights in the United States, and this total BS by the former president who is trying to backtrack, saying, I believe that abortion should be left up to the states. Well, what? Other Republicans are saying, no, we totally support a national ban on abortion.
Yeah.
Get your story straight. And Trump also says, I did that. He points straight to repealing Roe v. Wade. I did that. How many times has he bragged about that, Kim?
And he can't say, I mean, it's nonsensical, the argument. You can't say on one hand, well, I did that. I repealed Roe v. Wade. Isn't that great? And with the other hand, I don't agree with what they're doing in Arizona and backtrack away from it.
Nope.
No, you did this to us. And by us, I mean all women. Yeah. You did this to us. And there's no amount of landmines over this that you can sidestep. You put the conservative judges on the benches, and you have the rulings like the one that came down in Arizona from the Arizona State Supreme Court to uphold this Civil War era draconian whacked out measure, right? The only exception is the life of the mother.
Yeah.
What about my choices? What about
you staying the hell out of
this world? What about it just okay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, what if the baby's not healthy? It only covers my health. I don't know, whatever. It's all wrong. It's all 100% wrong for women. And I just feel like this whole backtracking now where Trump says, it should be left up to the states. This is the way I always wanted it to be. And it's going to be great. And it's going to be fine. Yeah. And then last week he comes out, Nikki, and he says, I'm going to make a compromise and work out a negotiation on abortion that's going to make everybody in the land happy.
No.
That is 100% not possible. And you saw it then with Senator Lindsey Graham coming out and saying,
against him,
I disagree with you, Trump. I think there should be a full and complete ban. And then Trump's like, Lindsey Graham, now you're my enemy.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
I mean, even Carrie Lake, of course, she's running for Senate in Arizona. She's like, I'm uncomfortable with it. This is what she said. In addition to covering the state of Arizona as a fair and honest journalist, I've traveled to every corner of the state on the campaign trail. She says, I am the only woman and mother in this race, blah. I understand the fear, anxiety, and joy of pregnancy and motherhood. I wholeheartedly agree with President Trump. It's a very personal issue that should be determined by each individual state and her people. That sentence is so contradictory. You can't say, Carrie Lake and GOP, it is a personal choice. And yet, I don't care if it's not the federal government. Why does my state governor need to have a say in whether or not I continue a pregnancy? That is my stance. Like, you can feel any way you want to about abortion because it is your personal decision and you get to decide. I don't understand how this Republican Party of smaller government wants to regulate my uterus. I mean, we've had this debate on the show so many times, but CNN did this great article, and the headline is 15 times Trump's abortion position shifted over the past 25 years. And I'm going to add this huge caveat before I go down the list. People are allowed to change their viewpoint. People are allowed to experience something, whether it's an abortion or not, and change their viewpoint. You are free to do that. So he started as pro-choice. In the leading up to the 2000 election, he told Meet the Press, "I'm very pro-choice," suggesting his views were shaped by New York's liberal policies. In 2015, he said he had evolved. He credited his about face to a child born to his friends who was going to be aborted and wasn't aborted. And today the child is a total superstar. If you're a loser, though, in Trump's eyes, apparently he doesn't care about you. And then we know as he led up to the 2016, he just became more and more anti-reproductive freedom. And it's just this wish-washy way. I don't believe a word the frigging guy says about it. I don't
No.
believe anything that comes out of his mouth. I don't trust anyone within the GOP to protect women's reproductive freedoms.
Yeah.
And every single time I talk to a conservative, I don't debate abortion. I don't debate when life begins. I say one thing and one thing only. I do not believe that the government should be involved in the decision to continue a pregnancy. Period.
Yep.
Period. That is it. I don't care how far along you are.
Right.
I care about the circumstances that led to that pregnancy. I'm not calling Newsom, if I lived in a state like that didn't support abortion. I'm not going to call Governor Newsom and ask him if I should continue a pregnancy. I am a grown ass woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a grown ass woman. I can decide for myself in my whole situation, taking into account everything I know about my life and determine whether or not I need it. So I am so freaking curious on what is going to happen in Arizona because they have gone completely extreme, and polling after polling shows that people do not like it and wanted Roe v. Wade to be the law.
Well, that's why the flip-flopping. That's why the backtracking. They know this. So they know this is a political landmine for them, and they're now trying to tap dance around it, and they just cannot because women are mad. Let me show you this meme I saw last night on Facebook. Stay angry till November. Vote red again. Never vote red again, rather. That's a mistake. Don't let the United States turn into an episode of The Handmaid's Tale.
It already is. It already is.
People are mad. Women are mad.
They should be.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, like Vice President Kamala Harris was making remarks on Friday in Arizona, calling out this restrictive, law. I'm not going to call Arizona even a purple state. I do believe that it is largely conservative, but I think people are looking around and being like, well, this isn't what we wanted. This isn't how we wanted to do it. And you can't believe in smaller government and then give them this much control over your life. So and abortion is an issue that plays for both parties. I mean, there are people that are pissed at Trump for coming out and saying, leaving it up to the state and turning away from this whole national ban. And you just love to see it. So I hope it bites him in the ass. I really, really do.
Funny, you mentioned Carrie Lake a couple minutes ago, and she was last week trying to explain her position on the personal and private abortion issue. And this is after she called for a complete ban and last year said this whole Arizona law or the Civil War era law was she called it great. Her words were great.
They have no integrity. Great. They have no integrity.
And now she comes and says, oh, it's a personal and private issue. Well, here's my argument to that. If it's a personal and private issue, then why are you involved in it at all?
Exactly.
If it's a personal and private issue, Carrie Lake, then why do we need any laws on the books regarding abortion?
Exactly. I mean, I understand that people are like, if you believe abortion is murder, if you believe life begins at conception and it is,
don't have one.
Then don't have one.
Yep.
It's easy. It's really, really easy. But you're trying to impose your belief system, your life situation on other people, and it's not right. And so,
today,
you know what?
If I got pregnant today, at a point in my life where I already have children, it would be, I'm too old. You know, I would worry about the safety of myself, the pregnancy, I would worry that I wasn't going to be around for the kids that I do have, all of these things. And still, I would choose probably to carry it through. Yeah. That would be my choice.
That would be your choice.
At this moment, if this happened to me. That doesn't mean that someone that's the exact same age with the exact same circumstances wouldn't make a completely different decision. And that's totally okay. Right?
Exactly.
It's all about like who you are, where you are in your life, what you want out of your life.
And who knows that best? The woman that's pregnant.
That's right.
And there's no way to create a blanket law that will have
Mhm.
all the caveats needed in making a complex
No.
decision regarding bringing another freaking human being into this world. So,
Just because I would choose to carry it
yeah.
doesn't mean that I want that decision put on everybody else.
Yeah.
You
It's
got stay out of, as I always say, keep your eyes on your own paper.
exactly,
Keep your eyes
exactly.
on your own paper. Their paper is their business. My paper is my business. Your paper is your business. Other
Mhm.
than that, keep your eye on your own paper and look away.
It's not easy being a parent. It's not cheap. It's difficult. I mean, we know everything, not just about politics and divisions. It's expensive. Most of the
Mm-hmm.
women that have abortion studies show already have children. It's not like
Yep.
they're using it as birth control because they just don't want
And
to take responsibility. They
are
have
married.
kids and are married.
Right.
Like, stop acting like this is
Yeah.
birth control and people just want to kill children. Give me a freaking break over here. They use all these words. Trump even says they want to abort babies even after pregnancy. Are you freaking kidding me? He's making up stories and this incendiary language to horrify idiots that think that that's actually true. It's the same people that think that a woman's going to carry a healthy pregnancy to 9 months and then choose to have an abortion. It is a narrative that is a complete lie, and they feed on it, and they feed that load of BS to people. And so
Yeah.
I hope and pray that Arizona goes Biden's way, and these friggin' people in these red states wake up and understand that your rights are being taken away from you. One of the most important rights, which
Right.
is your reproductive freedom. It's insane. It's
It's
absolutely
so
insane.
interesting when I looked at the panel of the Arizona Supreme Court justices. It's all a bunch of these old white dudes. And I don't really care what color the dudes are.
Right,
It's all
but
a
it
bunch
is.
of dudes, but in this case, it's white dudes telling the women of Arizona how it's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. You carry it. If men carried babies, it would be in the Constitution already, reproductive freedom. Believe me. So yeah, we'll see what happens in Arizona, but I'm not buying the BS that Carrie Lake, Donald Trump, or any of them are shoveling into. You
No.
can't have it both ways. You
And you
just
know,
can't have it both
I really
ways.
believe that Donald Trump doesn't care one way or another
No,
about
whatever
abortion
works for
law.
him. Yeah,
This
absolutely.
is all political. He doesn't care. He could have run as a Democrat and taken that mantle. He
Mm-hmm.
cares about the power and the ability to make money and
Yep, that's
scheme and
all
grift.
he cares
It's
about.
it's he doesn't care about
Mm-mm.
conservative values
No,
or
or
the
small
sanctity of
government or
human life.
anything.
He
Yeah.
could give a rat's ass.
Mhm.
How many abortions do you think he's probably paid for in his life?
Who
I mean,
knows?
when you're
I
talking
mean, I don't
about
know. I
sleeping
would.
with porn stars and sleeping with Playboy playmates and this and that,
Exactly. And
I'm
like, you
just
think he's
saying, like,
wrapping it up? I doubt
the
it. Like, come
chances,
on.
there's a chance that, this has happened. I don't know. I feel like he doesn't really care about it one way or the other.
Yeah.
And that when it's politically convenient for him, he will step in if reelected and sign a
Hmm.
ban.
Yeah. And
Or
that's it.
he and he
Whatever,
will
then
do it.
I'm elected.
And what I know is, if that old saying, when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Hmm.
Well, if he's saying, look what I did, I got rid of Roe v. Wade, and he's proud of it, let's believe him.
Yep.
And let's not
Exactly.
trust him when he says, I won't enact a national ban. You
He's
already
full of it.
tried to.
Yep.
We believe you the first time. We're here to fight against you the second time.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So we'll see what happens in Arizona. A little bit of a lighter, I guess, parenting debate that's happening online. This woman kind of went viral on Instagram. She posted this note, and I'm just going to read it to you. It says, I try not to buy my kids junk that they don't need, but I will absolutely let them get something from the gift shop after we go to the museum or the zoo or the aquarium every single time.
Right.
I have way too many memories of being so excited about our weekend trip to one place or another, and then being funneled through the gift shop at the end and knowing that I couldn't get anything. Even if it's something small, I budget so that each of my kids can have a little trinket to remember the day. And people are pretty divided on either if they do get something, what it is, or getting anything at all. Your
Yeah.
thoughts?
I agree with her. I like to budget a little something out where you can get not the massive stuffy in the store at the
Right.
Monterey Aquarium, because we go to the aquarium every year,
Right.
but like the little $7 stuffy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or something little.
Mm-hmm.
Julia will get a sweatshirt sometimes. That's not cheap, but she
No, it's
wears it
not.
so much for the entire year. And so I like the idea of you're going on this is our thing. We're going to this fun
Right.
place. I'm trying to provide my kids with a great experience, make them love the ocean, want to protect the ocean, or even if it's going to Disneyland, I want them to have a good experience. So I
Yeah.
do try to let them pick something little and go away with something in their hand when they're walking out of the park so that you don't, or aquarium or whatever it is, so you don't feel like it's over when you've left. You still feel like you're taking a piece of it with you.
Yeah. Well, one person commented, you're encouraging parent guilt in the worst ways. The experience
Mm,
is the gift. They're not going to remember or give a flying F about the magnet you bought them at the zoo. Facts are facts. Now, I'm feeling a little torn on this. Now, when we went to Disneyland, yeah, the
right,
kids got stuff, right? But I felt like that was a gigantic place. But when I went to Arizona, I remember, and I took my husband to go see the capybara and I took all the kids.
right.
I mean, we paid for all the kids to go, and that was a gift. Like, it was a Christmas gift. And so
Hmm.
I kind of felt like, look, we don't need another stuffy. And I didn't get it. I told him, I was like, no, we're
Yeah,
not getting any more crap. Plus, we just had Christmas. So it was
right.
like, you're not getting any more stuff. Because I hear what you're saying. Like, as a kid, you want something. As a parent, it ends up under the seat cushion. It's so this consumerism.
It's
It's
true.
only a good experience if I get to have something that I can hold, when
Right.
why not just experience it? And that's the gift.
So, but also then, say Jacob goes back to school after break,
Right.
and it's his show and tell day. They
Right.
still do show and tell in fourth grade.
Okay.
And so he wants to tell everyone about his trip to the Monterey Aquarium and how he saw the otters. So he gets his little $7, stuffy otter, and that's his show and tell. And as he's showing the otter, he can tell about his experience at the aquarium.
All
I
right.
mean,
Fine. That's a
I
good example.
I don't know. I mean, and maybe it's not always that way, and maybe you don't always have to buy something. Maybe
Right.
you walk in and there's really nothing appealing,
Well,
you
somebody
know?
also in the comments said we always get the pressed pennies, and they've saved them
Ah,
all.
I
I
hate the pressed pennies.
I,
I
I
feel
do too.
I
I
feel
think it's
so
so
ripped off
stupid.
paying 50
Exactly.
cents or a dollar for a
For a
penny in
smash
return.
penny. But
Jacob
they say
came
they
home
save
with a
it.
pressed penny for he went to a school field trip
Yeah.
and they let him do a pressed penny in the Railroad Museum and I'm like, because once you start getting those pressed pennies, then it becomes a collection.
That's
Then
what
you
they
always have to do
do.
the pressed penny.
But I kind of like the idea of if they did have like I don't know, a photo album they slid it into kind of like coins or something.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool. Like, look at all the places we've been.
sure.
Or I like a magnet, perhaps if you have a fridge that can have magnets on it, which we
Right.
don't anymore. So don't get me a friggin' magnet. But yeah, like something like that I kind of get when I used to smoke cigarettes. I used to get ashtrays all the time from where I would go. I don't smoke anymore. Don't buy me an ashtray. But I get it. I guess it matters the place. If it's a gigantic trip, you know what I mean? If it's a gigantic trip like Disneyland,
Yeah.
of course. But if I'm taking you, I don't know, if you go every year to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, at some
Yeah.
point I'm going to kind of be like, you know what?
Yeah.
No.
You can tell Jacob will still pick the stuffy, and Julio
Oh,
now will pick the sweatshirt. Or sometimes, like I think last time we were there, we paid a little bit more for it, but we got some type of reusable straw, stainless steel straw.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so would I
Even
have
though I
found
feel
it
like those
cheaper
are
on
just gonna go.
Amazon? Yes.
Yeah.
But because we were at the aquarium and we were trying to support what they do, we bought it there. So I don't know.
I don't know. I'm leaning experience to be grateful that I took your ass here. But you guys let us know in the comments. We really appreciate you joining us on this revamped Nikki Medoro show. And even if you missed the live chat, please continue to comment under the channel. A lot of you are just having a conversation back and forth. And we really appreciate you guys supporting the show as a way to tell us that you want us still here every day. So make sure you click the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and the bell so you don't miss a moment. The number one way to support the show, and we thank you guys so much, is by going to thenikkimedoroshow.com and clicking that Patreon button. PayPal, another great way. Ricky, I know you love to donate that way. Go to paypal.com, hit the send button, thenikkimedoroshow@gmail.com. We have our sponsor, Auntie Tabby's Island Flavors Barbecue and Hot Sauces. You get 10% off every order. So just go to auntietabbies.com.
Can I quickly show the pictures?
Oh, please.
The hibiscus hot sauce, the pineapple
It
hot
is
sauce.
so freaking good. It is
and
so
the
good.
guava barbecue sauce, which doesn't have a lot of heat, just a touch.
I love that you say a
lot.
touch because I didn't taste any. And then we got Sensi over here that's like, there's a little bit of spice.
I'm a delicate flower.
She's a delicate flower, just like, you know, the flowers of Hawaii. So
That's
go to
right.
auntietabbies.com/Nick Kim, NIKKIM, or Nikki M, and you get 10% off every single order. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to be talking about the homeless industrial complex in California. It's real. I will no longer yell at, and I'm going to say conservatives that are like, oh my God, your Democratic policies. When I heard the news that we're spending how much money and you're not tracking its effectiveness.
We're not keeping track. We don't even know what the hell we're doing.
We're going to talk about that. And what do you think that we should do in light of this information? So join us tomorrow right here on the Nikki Medoro Show. Thank you guys so much. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow.